And so when you're talking about legacy, are you doing it from a selfish perspective? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for your family? Are you doing it, like I've got a 1,000-year plan. In evaluating that after going there, I feel like I was planning very short-sightedly for a true legacy, quite frankly. I don't think that I was really seeing all the pieces to the puzzle.
All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is your first time here. I am Blair Armstrong of Team Armstrong Coldwell Banker. I am a global luxury specialist in the world of residential real estate located here in the beautiful Coachella Valley. And you have just found Old Guys Still Rock. Again, if this is your first time here, I will say this, and I promise you this. This is going to be the best podcast that you have ever not heard so far in your life. But again, I'm Blair Armstrong of Team Armstrong Coldwell Banker. On my left is my good friend for almost 30 years. It's not really a co-host. He is a host, or there are actually two hosts of the show, but Brent Wright of Brent Wright Incorporated. He is in beautiful, because it's the only time of year that it is beautiful, Eugene, Oregon. It's true, dude.
It's funny.
It's true. Beautiful Eugene, Oregon, but Brent Wright of Brent Wright Incorporated, a man with many different hats. As I said, I've known him for such a long time, and he's in multiple businesses, from payroll companies to body shops to detail shops. Him and his wife 2 years ago opened up a wellness center, multiple property owner, from landlord to flipping. That part goes on. But I think one of his biggest talents that God has given him is his coaching. That he's been doing for multiple years now. So if you are watching this and you may be stuck personally, or you may be stuck business-wise and you just can't figure out how to get over the hurdle, maybe it's the books are not helping, maybe the podcasts are not helping, strongly suggest that you go back and watch 114 other episodes that we have out there and see if Brent Wright would be a good fit for you to help you find that avenue of freedom, whatever you're looking for. Just a good coach. So that was enough accolades for you today. I am done. But anyway,
Thanks.
man, how
Thanks,
are
man.
you?
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm well. Yeah. We're in an odd time for weather because we have to talk about weather because we're in Old Guys Still Rock, right?
Amen.
So we've been in the hundreds. Like I sent you a picture the other day. It was 130 degrees out on the pavement out in front 3 days ago.
I thought you photoshopped that. I've never been in Oregon where it's that hot.
Yeah. I mean, it was 103 that day, literally 103, but it was, you go out and you fire up the truck and you're sitting there letting it run before you leave. And it's 130. When I first started, it was 136. And when I got going down the road, it was 130 in the wind.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're used to it here. I'm just not used to it there.
Yeah. And so, things are changing a little bit. We're going to have rain on Saturday. The whole bloody day.
I wish we had that, to tell you the truth.
And then it's supposed to be 100, almost 100 all next week.
So yeah, a lot of people that maybe not be from the Pacific Northwest or that part of the region, down here, air conditioning is a must. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of homes up there.
Almost zero that have AC.
Yeah. It's just different. So just hopefully that everybody that's up there right now is doing okay.
All the home improvement stores had pallets of air conditioners.
Yeah.
Pallets of air
conditioners. Once you stick the hose out the window and
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
good times. So chat today.
Yeah.
Legacy. We've done this, kind of touched on it a couple of times in a couple of different ways, but I think this one's going to be a little bit new and improved. Mm-hmm. Guys, just as a clarification, most of what we do and what we talk about is based upon our personal experience. It's based upon our reactions to inputs and our outputs to those inputs. And so this may be a good fit for you. This may not be a good fit for you. It might not be your version of legacy. Mm-hmm. We would love to hear what your version of legacy is, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think there's, if we go back and look at all the episodes that we've done so far, some stuff there is some like, yeah, I've heard that before. And it's from philosophy that we've taken and put into our lives and utilized it and maybe tweaked it to fit us better. But one thing that I think that is super important for a lot of people to understand, philosophy not shared, no matter how you get it, is basically a detriment to your legacy.
Mhm.
That's why we take emphasis. You hear the Stoics, you hear the philosophers, they give that to you. So you take that and you apply it towards your life and you maybe enhance it according to your world. Because as we know that we're all different and we have different things that come up. But if you're just keeping philosophy to yourself and not sharing it, it's not a good idea. And that's kind of what Brent just said, right? Listen, hey, we're sharing you with things that we've gone through, and we hope that it's just one more starfish out there. So, and I think legacy is a big deal right now. And when you brought this up a week ago or 2 weeks ago and said you want to talk about this, one thing that I always go back to is I see a lot of people that talk about legacy, but try to implement somebody else's legacy instead of implement their own.
And that's okay too.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. So
Okay.
we were traveling 2 weeks ago as a family, and we ended up going to Disneyland and California Adventure as a little bit of a reward for all the hard work that our kids have done, my wife's done. I sacrificed a little bit, and I
Mhm.
definitely found a lot of rewards in that process, not just monetarily, but in a lot of ways, not just in fun, but educational and otherwise. And one of them that came out of it was this discussion about legacy. So, 80, 90 years ago, whatever it was, when Walt Disney decided he was going to create the happiest place on earth,
Mhm.
did he realize that he was creating a legacy, not just for him, but for the thousands and thousands of people that he has affected,
Mhm.
and the hundreds of thousands of employees that he might have affected, and their lives and their kids' lives and their grandkids' lives, and so on. So one man's search for fun has created a legacy that's exponentially paying out, let's just say. And so when you're talking about legacy, are you doing it from a selfish perspective? Are you doing it for
Mhm.
yourself? Are you doing it for your family? Are you doing it, like I've got a 1,000-year plan? In evaluating that after going there, I feel like I was planning very short-sightedly for a true legacy, quite frankly.
Mhm.
I don't think that I was really seeing all the pieces to the puzzle. So for me, that trip was a big eye opener.
When you say you have this 1,000-year plan like that, how it's changed what your mindset was then to where it is now, especially after your last trip with your kids and everything, even your wife? Did you and then you also said, well, I'm going to stay there with it. Did you feel like, okay, I am building a legacy for me, and now you're realizing building a legacy not only for my family but for others? Do you find that self now, obviously with your trip with your kids, but
Mm-hmm.
now with your coaching, that's starting to become more and more prominent in your life?
Yeah.
How that's changed, because that's what I found myself like. I'm going to build this, and I'm building it for Blair, and I'm realizing like, okay, how are you going to be a servant leader if you're not bringing others with you?
Well, I've always had the mindset of bringing others with me. For instance, I have a board.
Mhm.
So when I die, which we all will, by the way,
Little bit.
okay, there's no escape, period. Then the next phase is the implementation of a board of directors to support my family and my legacy, if you will. And for those that listen, those were air quotes, by the way. So, and thank you for listening while you're driving down the road. I know Kyle Vanderlinden does that in his 15, 20-minute drive every day to the office or to work area. So thank you. But ultimately, what I think has changed for me is just a clear understanding of the impact that my plans are going to have on others. And am I really making those plans to support others at the same time? And am I really making those plans to make me feel good today? Or is it truly from a point of not just introspective growth, but the growth of everyone and everything around me? So I don't know that Walt Disney, my point is I don't know that Walt Disney was really thinking he was going to, like Disneyland and California Adventure, were going to take up 4 zip codes when he
Mm-hmm.
had his original vision.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my point is your big enough? Is your vision of your legacy big enough to support not only, and it's cliche, everybody says it, is your vision big enough to support everybody's vision around you? Truly, is your vision big enough to support everything that it could encompass? Are you really dreaming big enough when you're dreaming? When you're manifesting, are you manifesting selfishly? I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to have this. I want to have that. Or are you manifesting to the point that it's exponential?
When you have that type of stuff, let's say that you've been kicked and you've lost a couple times and maybe you've taken 10, 15 L's in a row.
Mm-hmm.
How do you regain that vision and keep fighting forward? So, sometimes it's like, I can't win to lose type of thing.
Yeah.
That mindset, and how that deters you from your legacy or creating a legacy. What are some of the things that you have done when those times have come into your life that are like, forget it. I'm just going to do me and move on.
So, a couple of things. When I wasn't a person of faith, okay, so there's two different
Mhm.
versions of Brent here that we'll talk about. When I wasn't a person of faith, I was in a very dark spot at some point, and I'm going to talk about something that's really might hit home for people. I really thought about checking out, punching my last ticket and being done. I was down to the point where, at least I thought I was, down to the point where I thought that it was unrecoverable. And then for whatever reason, I didn't. And I'm really glad that I didn't for many reasons. But then the next time that I was down and out in Beverly Hills, as you will, I had become a person of faith. I was new in my faith. I didn't understand what was happening, but knew that I didn't have a choice to check out, that I didn't have a choice to punch my ticket and get off the train. And each time it was different. For the first time, it was selfish. I'm going to do this because I don't think there's anything better. The second time, it wasn't even an option to consider that because I knew the amount of selfishness that it would encompass to do that. And I would tell you that the one thing that pulled me up was not me. The one thing that pulled me up was the amount of people that I was going to impact by punching my ticket, or the amount of people that I wouldn't be able to impact by punching my ticket. Let me be clear, punching my ticket meant suicide,
Yeah.
driving retarded, wrecking, trying to figure out a way to end it that wasn't painful, wouldn't cause suffering to others. Now, I've experienced that. I've watched that. I was an insurance adjuster and I saw how that ended up for
Mhm.
others.
Mhm.
I had to deal with suicides and accidents and people being maimed and things like that. That was a tough job to see that
Mhm.
and to see the impact that that caused on others. And then at that point, being a person of faith really changed my trajectory. But I couldn't tell you what one thing kept me going. One of the things that kept me going was I had heard or read at some point, when you are down, help others, and that will
Mhm.
help you.
Yeah, dude. First of all, man, that's a lot, and it changes a trajectory of what you said. And a lot of people go through this, and I'm sure there's people listen to that may have lost a loved one to an unfortunate situation like suicide, and that's bad. And I don't want to go down this. It's important to talk about, but I think that's a big point of it. It is when we get to those dark places that maybe we want to burn it all down or just call it quits. It's not just your legacy; it's legacy for others, and it may not just be, you know, we're on the topic of suicide, and I don't want to kind of brush that off, but that could be with anything. It could be a business relationship, it could be a marriage. There's things that affect a lot of stuff, and that really just like, well, it's only affecting me. But everyone that we've talked about a lot is everyone has been given an opportunity to be a leader. Every single person on this world could be a leader. And there's enough room for that. The part of it is that I don't think that we fully comprehend, and I know that we've talked about this in past episodes. I don't know, and maybe you can help me through this. I kind of know, but you're really better at words on this than I am, is how do we truly understand that we are, me, you, everyone that's watching this, everyone that hasn't watched this yet or watch this a year from now, how do we truly understand that we are a legacy? No matter where part of life that we come from, we are a legacy. And it's the power of one more. It's all these different things. This is not a self-help thing, but how do we help others truly understand that every single person is a legacy and have so much to offer, more than they could possibly understand, and maybe they don't see it?
Well, first I would ask you the question, why wouldn't you think that you're a legacy? Why are you selling yourself short and only creating micro opportunities for success for yourself and others? And then I would pose a challenge to you that you go out and you consciously spend the day heartfully, not superficially, but heart filled, complimenting, saying, have a good day. What can I do to better your day? I'll give you 5 minutes of my time, really trying to make a difference in everybody's world that you interact with that day. And or trying to, it's part of the Live Hard program that you have to say something nice to somebody so many times. I can't remember all the exact details on it. You did it, but it's spend 2 minutes and compliment somebody, or send out 5 positive texts, or, there's a variety of things that you could do. But we've talked about this before. You can't be depressed and you can't be unhappy if you're helping others and putting a smile on other people's face. That's a simple legacy. That's a one-day legacy right there.
And if you do it, and consistencies with that, right? It's just like you talked about multiple times on this, is looking yourself in the mirror and saying your I ams, right? It's consistently doing that and understanding that, okay, maybe I am the one. Doesn't matter what type of life. Maybe you come into a life that you've been living on food stamps, or maybe you come into a life that there's an abusive relationship. Maybe you come into a life that you've been sexually assaulted, whatever that may be. And then you think, it's just, my life is done. You can change the trajectory of your legacy. Is it easy? Absolutely not. I've never experienced any of those stuff, but I've seen people that have been in that. I haven't experienced it for myself. I've seen people in that situation that have, like, this is what happened to me. I could have ended up on this path. I decided that I'm not going to be the victim on this. I'm going to, as hard as it was, I changed the trajectory of what could have been a horrible legacy into a legacy that helps others, right? That's fair for saying that?
Yeah.
And so we say this a lot, really, over the last couple months. I feel, even though that we don't get a lot of feedback if we compare ourselves to other type of podcasts that maybe have a little bit different reach, we may not get a lot of feedback publicly on this podcast. But I do honestly feel that everything that we talked about has changed at least a couple people's trajectory of their legacy, and made adjustments in their life to be better than they were yesterday.
Even if it's one.
Even if it's one, right?
Just one.
And so that is part of my legacy. And I know this is a part of your legacy as well. And everybody that's been on the show, is we have something to offer. We may not see what happens tomorrow, next year. We may not see something while we're still on this earth. We may have to wait to get to heaven to see what the ripple effect of this is. But that is our legacy. It's not just some podcast that we're sitting on here every week to talk about, oh, you should do this, 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 and this. It's sharing life experiences. It's sharing transparency, opening up, what you went through a while back. I mean, we've had some pretty deep, peel back the onion type of experience of what's going on to it. Every time someone has shared something like you, me, our guests that have been on the show in the past, that has changed the trajectory of their legacy because they have helped somebody inadvertently to become better.
Or they help themselves by talking about it.
Which mostly happens. I don't think that we have ever had a guest leave here like, oh my God, that was amazeballs. Well, maybe one. But I just think that is, we get caught, and especially in this world of what we're thrown in front of us every day with media and the people that we surround ourselves stuff, where all of a sudden we're just this dark hole Eeyore, um, dark abyss type of world. We're and in that case, if that's all you can focus is on the negativity of the world. If you can only focus on the darkness in your, what you believe is the darkness of this stuff, you're going to change the trajectory of your legacy 1000%, not the right way. It's easy to fall into, but when are you going to catch yourself and look at yourself in the mirror as like, this is not what I need to become? And you and I see a lot of that. You and I fight for ourselves to get out of it. So when we're calling people out, it's just like, it's Brent and I fight with ourselves mentally with this all the time. There's triggers. And I think that's a big thing that we haven't talked about too, is, part of legacy is those triggers. What triggers have you set in your mind or set in your daily routine that when something like happens, bam, trigger. Okay, I've got to get back on this. Right?
Well, I told you what I do. I've just started laughing.
That's a good one.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
That's my trigger. I literally have programmed myself to just laugh at the situation, because when you're laughing, you can't be depressed. You can't be angry. You can't lash out at others. You can't talk yourself down into a dark abyss. That's my trigger. I literally will laugh. Right as we were getting on the call, I spilled my drink.
All right.
What did you hear me do?
You said, I can't remember the words you said. It was kind of funny. Burning matches or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. No, I was like, well, I've already spilled my drink and done all the things. So, give me a few minutes and I'll get this cleaned up, but we'll see how the rest of this plays out. I just kind of laughed about it and moved on and cleaned it up. When I spill, I don't know if you guys know this or not, or if I've talked about it, but I can't feel anything in my fingers. I haven't been able to feel anything since I broke my back. I'm getting better with the soft wave at my wife's wellness center. I can actually feel my hands. There was a time when I couldn't feel my hands at all, which has changed my trajectory. I used to be a very hands-on and very articulate with my hands. I could feel things. I can't feel things. It took me 40 minutes today on multiple tries to button my top button on my shirt.
That's crazy.
And so I spilled.
No one would ever know that.
Correct. I drop things often. My wife will tell you, she's like, hands not working today, clearly. I'm like, yep, because there's 52 things I need to pick up right now. I play 52 pickup on a regular and daily basis. If I got mad about that every time it happened, I would just be a depressed, pissed off human being.
Yeah.
And so I just laugh about it.
Yeah, dude. It's so good that you say that, because I think that's with a lot of us. I mean, we can, a spilled cup of coffee or something like that could change the trajectory of your day. And that trajectory of the day could spill into the next day, to where you have this consistent, what we talk about, losses or hurdles, whatever you want to call them. And that if you get it consistently doing that, then it's just like, it goes back to that comment, I can't win to lose. Well, dude, now it's in your mind. And so,
well, you just perpetrated it. You just planted the seed, right? We all plant seeds that will either grow positively or negatively. My real question for myself, was I'm sitting there in Disneyland, California Adventure. We stayed at the Pixar Hotel. It was wonderful. The staff were just amazing. But I'm sitting there at night watching the fireworks go off. By the way, they have fireworks every night.
Crazy, right?
65. It's just nuts. And I'm sitting there watching the fireworks with my family, and I'm watching my kids take it all in and smiles on their face. And my wife sitting there just happy that we're there and all the things. And I'm just sitting there questioning, why am I thinking so small in everything that I'm doing? Why? Walt Disney had a dream. He wanted to see fireworks every night. 365. Why can't I have fireworks every night? Why can't I plant 4,000 palm trees? Do you know there's over 4,000 palm trees in just that little area?
In Disneyland?
Yeah. In California Adventure? 4,000 palm trees. They weren't there before. It was orange groves or desert 80 years ago, 100 years ago, right? I mean, the first time I went there, I'm going to date myself here, 43 years ago, it looked like the parking lot on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm dead serious. That's what I
For
remember.
sure. Right?
Like we parked at the back so that way we could get out and leave at the end of the
Yeah.
day what everybody else did, right?
Right? Yep.
It's that place is way different just in the evolution in the last 43 years. Why am I thinking so small? Is my legacy that I should be developing small thinkers? Is my legacy that I should not envision a life that's so huge and so fun and so rewarding that I'm going to affect thousands and thousands of people's lives? Like, why am I thinking so small? I get once around this ride.
I think there's a lot of it, that comes from how we grew up. Now, not everyone's had this, but I think there's a lot of, well, you can do this, or you can't do that, or good luck. I've tried that. That's never going to happen. And so deep down in our DNA somewhere, this is just my thought. I could be completely wrong with this. I'm not a freaking expert on this, but somewhere along the line, someone told us that's impossible. And we heard it that way. Not everything, but just something that just sat in our mind, like, yeah, we can't do that. I mean, it's you. I started this the other day because we have some stuff going and what we want to do. I started looking at G650s, man.
Mm-hmm.
Why can I do one? Do it. And then I started, this is the funny thing about that you just reminded me of. So like, that would be awesome to have a G650 and just kind of bring all my family and just be able to go wherever we want to go and not have to wait in line and shop rates for first class airline tickets or just even coach tickets. And then I thought about and this is how simple self-deprecating can be, right? Well, why would I want to get a G650 when I could just have enough money and fly everybody first class? So I just killed my own dream. Well, I could basically take my whole family on first class and it would be less than what it would take me to have a trip one way on a private plane. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go ahead and I'm not going to worry about the G650 anymore. I'll just worry about getting enough money so I can fly everybody first class.
Well, the other thing that was,
how stupid that is, right?
Well, you just
Realistically, I just
manifested
killed
something cool, and then you just killed it all in one shot.
So I killed my legacy. So I could actually, well, maybe I'm not going to fly in the G650 over the course of time, but maybe I could build a legacy to where my family or my grandkids could eventually have that too. But I completely squashed that. So reading say is like, okay, maybe we don't hit it to there, but maybe we build a legacy financially that my grandkids do have that. And they're like, yeah, hey, grandpa, I'm going to get a G650. You don't want to do that. Just fly first class. It's much easier. You don't want to deal with the hassle with that. And they're like, okay, well, you always talked about having a G650. Now you told me. And so it's something people are going to listen to. They're like, well, that's a stupid thing. Well, is it? Is it stupid?
My son and daughter don't talk about if we get a plane. They don't talk about one day we could have. They talk about taking a percentage of the money that they earn for doing the extra things that they do and putting it towards the plane fund. So that way they can help out. Their specific conversation is, if I give you a little bit of what I earn, we'll be able to get the plane sooner. Nothing is outside of their reach. Mm-hmm. My son on day 2 developed, and I told you about this last night, I think, or yesterday, off topic or off camera, that my son developed a product, a distribution channel, and the ingredients and the way to manufacture it all in like 15 minutes at breakfast on day 2, utilizing some of our good friends and vendors because he wanted them to be a part of his vision as well. My daughter, similarly placed, talks about certain things like that as well. It's just amazing to me, the difference. And I'm not saying that my parents were bad. It's just they were perpetuating what they had been taught. And so that's why we're here, is to teach you or show you or both that your limits are only in here.
Say
you had any limits?
Yeah, I mean, okay, say which our audience is kind of that 40 plus crowd. Or it could be 50 or 60 or 70 when you listen to this, it doesn't matter. Has that window of opportunity changed or closed to change my legacy? Can I make fourth quarter adjustments?
Oh yeah.
And what are like maybe 2 or 3 suggestions that you have that the people that feel like their window of opportunity has closed to change that legacy road.
So let's refer to them as loops. Okay. So you've been in a neighborhood where you just keep turning right, and turning right. You just can't seem to get out of the dang neighborhood, right? Well, that's how it happens in our life, in our emotional state, in our thought processes, and all of those things. And if you can't get out of those loops by yourself, then you need to engage somebody like me. You need to engage a counselor, a coach, a mentor, some tool to help you get clear of that loop. One of my loops, I evaluated myself this week. One of my loops is the overgive loop. I overgive thinking the people are going to appreciate it.
That's a good one. I have some people in my life that are like that, and then they get their feeling.
One of my loops is burnout. They call it burnout hustle. I work and I work and I work and I work, and then I crash. I've gotten better at that, but I still have twinges of that that I need to address. The other one is solo success. I don't delegate enough. So identifying those loops and figuring out where you want to grow or where you need to grow, and then identifying people that can help you get past some of those things. You did it this week without even knowing it.
Right. Yeah, there's a couple of things that have been brought to my attention of stuff that I've done, which is great.
What did you say this week to me?
Oh, I don't know, man. I was thinking of some other things with some different conversations with people. I don't know.
This is not my expertise.
Oh, yeah.
And I need help with this.
Yeah. That was a big one for me, dude.
Right. So that's the thing, is get beyond your ego and say, I'm not an expert. I need an expert.
Yeah.
We do it when we hire people. I'm not good at it. Okay. So period. I'm not good at it. Right. But we do it when we hire other people to do things. So are you good at bathroom remodels? So you hire somebody. Different than you saying, I will try at this, fail, and then when I know I can't do it, then I get somebody involved. That's harder for people to do, believe it or not.
The second one?
Second one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know my wheelhouse. It's like there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to learn right now and going to have to rely on people. I think there's a big thing to that. Rewinding about 5 minutes ago, what you said, maybe 2 minutes ago, is reaching out for assistance. I think books and podcasts can get you to a certain extent, but I also think that there needs to
create action.
Yeah. If you're like, okay, I've read all this, I've listened to all this, but now I'm not doing anything with it. I think that's a big thing. But I also think that there's some coaching, and I think guys especially, I don't think women have such a hard time with it, maybe a little bit, but I think guys, they feel that they're not being good enough if they have to ask somebody else for their help. I was that way. I am getting a lot better at it. I'm like, it's just, listen, I need to be more efficient. I actually just interviewed someone yesterday being a part of our team. And I said, this is where I see this going, but I don't have the bandwidth to do it by myself. And so it would not only help the team, it would not only help me get better, but it will help the person that's helping us get better. And so I need more people to help us attain the goals that I know that we can reach. But in the same sense is you're going to become better than me by the wisdom we share back and forth.
It's ego crushing. So you have to be able to crush your own ego or let others crush it and not be offended by it. I'm actively pursuing this task internally and externally by taking on the bustedtees.com. Yep. Shameless plug. I know. Here we go. But that's been the reason why I engaged with that and engaged with the buyers group that we started with Alex and Eric and Kyle, is because it is uncomfortable for me not to run and manage every aspect of it and to allow and trust others to take on pieces of that. And that is not only helping me grow emotionally, financially, spiritually, and all the other ways. And it's tough. I mean, I called Eric the other day and said, hey, I'm sorry for some of my responses if they were too quick and too curt. I'm really just trying to figure out the information because I don't know where to get the information. And so I'm asking questions. So hopefully you're not offended by the fact that I'm asking a bunch of very direct, very quick questions. And he's like, no. And I said, I'm just trying to learn, I'm just trying to understand. And I had to squash my ego way down to nothing to be able to accomplish that.
And I think that's a big one too, because a lot of us, we feel like we've come such a far way that we do have that wisdom and the knowledge. We felt like we've come so far, but when we sit there and like, oh, maybe I'm not far enough, of relying to try to find that lifeline or finding that wisdom that is that missing puzzle piece to continue that journey of becoming better and creating a better legacy. Like, I'm supposed to know this. I'm the leader, and I'm the one who's been the more successful in business, or I'm the one who's doing this. And that's just so showing a chink in the armor. What you said is it's ego crushing. Like, I kind of don't know how to get here right now, so I need some
and does
help.
that take you to your knees, right? When somebody crushes your ego or you crush your own ego, does that take you to your knees and debilitate you to where you can't produce? That's the hard part, right? And so I can't build a legacy that's beyond me without getting me out of the way.
Yeah.
I have to kill the old Brent every day. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. I killed like probably 4 layers of old Brent by taking that trip, which, by the way, I fought mentally and emotionally to even go on that trip. You know that. You know I struggle with those things. I would not make a good vagabond. I like consistency. I like to know what things are doing and how they're going and all those things. And my wife, God bless her, pulls me out of my comfort zone on a regular and consistent basis. And that's why I'm exponentially growing.
You said something. I mean, you're going on that trip. I know how hard it was for you. I'm at this point that we have these beginning of the year, end of year parties here at the club. Dude, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. I just.
Yeah, you and I agree with that. Like, I don't people
pomp and circumstance, right? It's like, listen, I'll spend more money to take 4 to 6 people out to dinner to have intimate relationships and being around 450 people with meaningless conversations. And so Chrissy and I are talking about this last night on our date night. I'm like, okay, we have this going on. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And she's like, and this is the first time, man. So she's coming a long way, and I really appreciate this. She's managing me a lot better, but it helped me instead of being combative. The things that she said, like, being a dick. And she goes, okay, I have to wrap my mind around this. And then she started kind of talking out loud of how she's going to wrap her mind around, like, okay. And she didn't like what I said. Like, she likes to go to these things. It was fun, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, who's heading up this? Who's spearheading this party? Who's in charge of this party this year? And she said the name, and I'm like, jab a knife in my heart and twist it. And I'm like, okay, this one, I'll go to this one for you. And because I do care about this person, and I don't want to see someone put all this work into, and going through all the stress of getting people together and putting music and all this stuff together and not having the respect to go show some sort of gratitude of the work that they put in. But I'm going to have anxiety for it for a long time because it's just so much. I think that's a part of it, dude, is like, it's just so much that you have to be on and being around this group of people. It's not that the people are bad. It's just my brain I'm trying to get my brain to function that it's okay to be around a lot of people, but I love intimacy and conversation. And I don't get that. I do not get that shot of awesomeness in those situations. And I have to fight through it.
So one of the tools that I use, because I don't people real well either, is, will this matter in 100 years?
And that's a good one. I've told myself, like, dude, is one party going to change your life? Just go do it.
And on top of it, will it change who I am tomorrow?
If you're thinking on the negative side, it could.
Correct.
If you're thinking on the positive side, it could. So there's both sides to it. Yes, it could change my life. I could become the asshole that no one wants to be around and keep segregating myself. Or I could go ahead and, like, I know you don't want to go there, but go ahead and let people see you and talk to you and have maybe 1 or 2 good conversations. And maybe it does change your life for the better. Like, oh, it wasn't so bad. kind of like our top 10 luncheons that we have for the brokerage I work for.
Yeah. Or you could look at it like one of those people I talk to could change the trajectory of my life and help me formulate the legacy that I'm trying to create. All it takes is one.
Yeah, and not doing it puts you into that elitist category that you're just too good for everybody else, and it will change your legacy for the worse.
Well, you're just going to end up old and alone.
Old and alone. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we're all going to die old and naked and alone, but we don't have to do that throughout the journey. But that's a choice.
You say stuff and you're going to say, I'm going to steal your spotlight, but you're still going to say it at the end of this episode. And I think it resonates more and more, especially after this conversation, is go make a damn difference. And you can't go make a damn difference if you're not creating a legacy that includes more people than you.
Yeah.
And so those words of wisdom, even though you said that for 115 episodes shortly, may have not had an impact, what maybe you thought in your mind that what you want them to have the impact, but here we are 115 episodes later. And I'm just saying, you know what? That's a legacy statement.
100%. 100%.
And how powerful that is, just a couple words, right?
Mm-hmm.
So any final words for you, my dude?
Create opportunities daily to further your legacy and the legacy of others with nothing holding you back. Create a vision so big for yourself and others that you can envision having 4 zip codes where your business is, 4,000 palm trees, or hundreds of thousands of employees. Or like Apple, they've made over 1,000 millionaires just in their staff. How cool would that be?
Powerful.
And as always, go make a damn difference.
Yeah, man. Some good stuff. Realistically, I would say the last 4 or 5 months of our podcast have been really, 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 really good. We're getting better and better every time. And but this is what, for you guys that are listening to this, or you're watching it or listening to this, we're going to challenge for all of us that are watching and listening to this is become somebody's legacy today. Brent says to go make a damn difference, which is so powerful if you just really sit there and close your eyes and think about how you can make a difference. But the people that are involved, our listeners here, are so smart and so good and just so giving. Go help someone change the trajectory of their legacy today or tomorrow or next week. But constantly have that in your mind. That's what we need. That's how you give back to us. That's how you get back to us.
Tell us about it. Come on and tell us about it.
Yeah.
It's not bragging. It's not bravado. We'd love to hear about the success stories of that.
Yeah.
More people need to hear about your successes. Share them.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about them.
That's good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for all your support, all your follows, all your likes, all your comments. Continue to share this freaking show. It's awesome. I'm telling you, man. It's a great podcast. I'll put this pound for pound. I'm coming for you, Andy. Coming for you, Ed. Gonna take you over, bro. But anyways, have a great week. Stay safe, but most of all, God bless, guys. Take care.